From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Features Edition for Monday, May the 31st, 2021. The New York Police Department arrested 3 people last week suspected in 2 separate anti-Semitic incidents earlier this month in Brooklyn, as we reported to you about, where Orthodox Jews were targeted in Borough Park on Saturday night, May the 22nd. 2 of the suspects were charged with anti-Semitic aggravated harassment and 1 with assault as hate crime. The NYPD Hate Crimes Task Force, who investigated the incidents, tweeted about the arrests last week, saying that all wanted individuals are now in custody. The University of California, Santa Barbara's Associated Student Senate narrowly rejected a resolution Thursday presented by Students for Justice in Palestine, calling for the school to divest from companies that do business with Israel over alleged human rights violations against the Palestinians. The Allgemeiner reports, citing the Daily Nexus reporter Holly Rush, that the vote, which went almost 12 hours long, was voted down by one single margin vote, 12-13. Hillel Santa Barbara Rabbi Evan Goodman and Executive Director Robert Ingram said the atmosphere of the vote was often quite hostile, and the session was halted temporarily several times, including when one speaker shouted, "Israel isn't a real state," and cursed the country. The Hillel leaders said of the vote's outcome, "We are extraordinarily proud of our students. They gave everything they had to fight this anti-Israel resolution," stressing that Santa Barbara Hillel will continue to create a community that supports peace and honest dialogue and that works to make our campus, our community, and our Jewish homeland safer and more peaceful. Well, almost 24 American rabbis concluded a solidarity mission to Israel last week, organized by the UJA Federation of New York, said to be the first of its kind since the conflict with Hamas, Israel's Operation Guardian of the Walls. 23 rabbis from New York across denominations traveled to the Jewish state, they said, in a show of support for Israel, to better understand the impact of the recent conflict with Hamas and civil unrest, and meet with local leaders on the ground to hear how they plan to move society forward. The group included Orthodox Rabbi Sarah Hurwitz of the Hebrew Institute of Riverdale, Reform Rabbi Angela Bushdahl of Central Synagogue, and Conservative Rabbi David Shuck of Bethel Synagogue of New Rochelle, who told JBS, "I am so grateful to have had the opportunity to sit with our brothers and sisters in Israel in this time of pain and loss. It was emotional," he said, "to stand 30 feet from a home that was destroyed by a Hamas rocket and say to the survivor, 'Your pain matters to us.'" Sitting in Lod with Jews and Arabs who are committed to building a shared society felt like an enormous privilege, as was, Shuck said, the chance to offer support and caring, and to listen to so many different types of people share their stories of grief, trauma, and their dreams for the future. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Monday, May the 31st. At 7 o'clock, it's The Wisdom of Dr. Ruth, and then at 7:30 on a new FIDF Live, a look at Operation Guardian of the Walls and the soldiers that took part in it, with IDF International spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Conricus and a commander of the Iron Dome Battalion, among others. Then at 8, Director of the Harry S. Truman Library and Museum Kurt Graham talks about the American history surrounding the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948. And offers a tour of the museum's exhibit on the founding of the Jewish state in a program of the American Jewish Committee. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with Holocaust survivor and war veteran Michael Taylor, who shares his remarkable story on L'chaim. At 10, painter Ron Agam talks about his recent exhibit of paintings from the 92nd Street Y. And coming up next, Senior Rabbi of the Stephen Wise Free Synagogue in New York City, Amiel Hirsch, speaks about the fracturing of liberal Judaism, asking, are we a Jewish people rooted in Jewish values or universalists who happen to pray in Hebrew? And other questions. And that's the JBS News Features edition for Monday, May the 31st, 2021. I'm Teisha Bader, wishing you a happy and safe and meaningful Memorial Day.